Hola, it's Red Pill Biker with the second part of my Mexican adventure. Women have no consequences to their actions. I know there's a background hum on these videos. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm trying to use this thing to see if it minimizes it, but it doesn't seem to help a lot. I'm driving. Today is moving day. I live a nomadic lifestyle, and I have left southern Arizona to go to northern Arizona on my way up to Oregon. That's the plan anyway, but like I say, I'm a nomadic kind of guy, so it doesn't, that's the plan for the next few days. It may change tomorrow. I don't know. But, you know, my previous video I mentioned that about the drunken people at the Mexican border and how I was foolish enough to try to play sheepdog to all the sheep standing behind me. But what I really would like to address in this video is how women really don't have any consequences, and they damn well know it. They can do anything they want, and there will be no repercussions. Now, that can't be said, painted with too wide a brush. You know, we do hear about things like Jodi Arias' case, and if you don't know about it, this is a psychopathic woman who stabbed her husband, no, her boyfriend, stabbed her boyfriend 20-something times before shooting him in the head, and then claimed self-defense. And of course, it was so obvious. Had it been less obvious, she might have got away with it. It was so obvious that it was murder, she ended up getting life in prison. I think without possibility of parole. God, I hope so. But that is a rare thing. And women know, look at the Me Too movement. Are some of the guys that got called out on the Me Too movement, are they actually, were they actually in the wrong? Sure. I mean, sure. But how many careers, how many marriages, how many relationships, how many lives have been destroyed simply because women can? There are far more of these stories that I have seen where women have walked in simply because they were upset with somebody and had somebody they once loved put in jail claiming all kinds of offenses that probably did not happen, or most likely did not happen. And the thing is, they don't have any consequences. And that wake-up call at the border the other day really got me to thinking about this again. Here I am in a confrontation with somebody who's attempting to denigrate me and has basically been a bully. And bullies are all cowards. I think we know that. And the only buffer he had was the two women between he and I. Now, I've already admitted that I was in the wrong in the fact that I was trying to stand up for the other people around me who didn't ever ask me to stand up for. And it was just an old reflex that I'm gradually beginning to take control over. However, in the midst of all this on the other side, the little 16-year-old girl is walking up to me, getting in my face, knowing I can't do anything about it, except go step backwards. And as I'm trying to back away from this child, she's hitting me in the chest. What's my recourse? None. No recourse whatsoever. I'm certainly not going to lay a hand on her. For one, she's a girl. Two, she's a child. Three, she's drunk. And four, she's just a fucking retard, and you don't beat up retarded children. After that, her mother begins running up and doing the same thing and shoving me around. I'm actually trying to leave the situation because by then my testosterone level had dropped enough where sensibility came back to me, and I'm like, this is a no-win situation. Even if I were to win the altercation, there's no big win. There's only a war to be lost. There's only trouble to be had. Because there's no way to do anything. There's no way to even defend yourself against physical attacks. The only defense we have is to stay the fuck away from women. One wrong word and you're booted out of your university. One wrong word and your career comes to an end. One wrong word and maybe your treasured marriage comes to an end. One wrong word and your entire life, your lifestyle, your everything that you've spent 5, 10, 15, 4 decades building up is over. It's taken away from you. There is no safe way to approach women. Now, I'm not a MGTOW monk. No, excuse me. Yeah, MGTOW monk. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't live as a monk. I do enjoy certain things about females, and I don't hate them. I'm just saying, when something unstable, when we're dealing with nuclear energy, they put walls and boundaries and protections around. There's a way to keep this very unstable product under control in case it goes nuclear. Women don't have that anymore. Maybe they never did, but they must have, because this is a new phenomena, at least in my 62 years. There is no protective barrier around this unstable element that we call the feminine mind. And once that's taken away, everything is on the table. Anything they want to accuse, anything they want to do, they can walk up and they can hit you. They can walk up and scratch your car, slit your tires. They can do all the things that they want to do, and there is no recourse. You can't, remember guys, language is violence now. You can't even get mad and yell without getting in some sort of potential legal problem. And even if they don't have a legal reason to come after you, all they have to do is make something up. The woman is to be believed. And you may prove yourself, okay, let's say somebody did. You're dating a woman for a while, she's upset with you because you want to end the marriage, and all the consensual relationships that you'd had prior to this you become accused of rape. Guess what? You might be able to go through the court system and prove your innocence, but what is that going to cost you? And what will be hanging over your head the rest of your life? Imagine that. Imagine that. For the rest of your life, there's always going to be that question about you and your aggressive sexual tendencies, your toxic masculinity, which is going to be my next video. Oh, I'm full of them. This whole little thing was just such a condensed version of reality that it just got me rolling here. But there is no way to defend yourself against this. Even if you prove your innocence, even if nothing happens to you on a legal matter, you have this taint of guilt that will surround you the rest of your life on some level. I mean, you can move away, you can do a lot of things, but imagine what you would have to go through. How safe is any man out there? And if you think this is only happening in Hollywood or at the corporate level or something like that, you're wrong. This happens at border towns to people like me who are absolute complete nobodies in the world. And it was just a matter of time, because both these women, after they had shoved me and pushed me, threatened to call the police. Yeah. And of course, they're drunk as skunks. I'm sober as a preacher. And so I'm like, go ahead. Please, call the police. I'll stand here and wait on them. Of course, they weren't going to do that, because it came to the realization that they were, these two drunken adults had their 16-year-old minor drunk too. So it wasn't going to work out well on those but there was going to be no recourse. That woman, both of them, could have come up and began to hit me with actual items, with physical things other than just their hands and fists. And there's nothing I could have done about it. Even in the process of trying to walk away, stating clearly, I'm leaving now, I was shoved from behind. Look, they knew nothing was going to happen. People who meet me know I'm not a violent man. It's not. There was nothing there to assume that there was any real harm going to come, other than to the drunken father who could not keep his mouth shut. And yes, I'm wrong. I was in the wrong. It won't happen again. But they knew there's nothing this man can do to us. Nothing. I can't even raise my voice to him. Raising your voice does nothing but throw fuel on a fire. It does nothing more than to throw more uranium into the nuclear meltdown that has absolutely no boundaries, no protective measures to stop it. It is simply going to explode. I can't raise my voice. I certainly cannot raise my hands, even in a defensive gesture. I had to hold my hands out like this while I was backing away because I knew there's video cameras going. And I'm like, okay, there's nothing I can do here but allow these two women to shove me and berate and allow their husband to berate me. And I'm like, I got myself in this position trying to do the right thing. Don't do the right thing, walk away. That is the right thing. But there are no repercussions. A woman can accuse you of anything and she will initially be believed, and you will have to pay attorneys, you will have to lose work time, you will have to try to explain to other people, primarily all the other sheep in the flock, how you're not even remotely guilty and none of this is true. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? The answer to that, in my humble opinion, is absolutely not. Anyway, guys, life is hard. Don't make it any harder. It needs to be. Keep it real.